Do you have any thoughts of wisdom when one is trying to decide whether to commit to a significant other whom is not currently seeing through the dream of separate self? What happens in a committed relationship for conversations, values, choices versus really loving the other person for who they are? Thanks, Chris, for your question. Ultimately, who is the other but yourself? So whatever you see in the other is yourself, not yourself as Chris, but yourself as big consciousness or whatever we call it. So whoever you look at is that freedom, is that presence. And when you're looking from that place, then everything is that. Everything is empty and full simultaneously. Everything is that. So they are that. So there is no ego, there is no mind, there is no person there. So it doesn't matter what they say or don't say, what they do or don't do. That's from the ultimate perspective. So it's like every word that they utter is the divine, even if it is very materialistic or invested in this mainstream way of thinking, is the divine. Every action, every move. On the human level, though, when you're waking up and you're still believing that you are someone, then it could be easier to have someone to reflect back the ego with you. You know, to be able to look at their dynamics and your dynamics. And to be able to bask in this together, to be able to share this journey together. But if they're still in the ego mind, whether they're into this subject or not, and you're still in the ego mind, then there's going to be the equal amounts of clashing. Just because somebody's into this subject doesn't mean that they're more free than somebody that isn't. So it's just that you can reflect back about it and you can be on the path together, which is, I suspect, easier. But there's still going to be clashes of the ego when the people in the relationship believe that they're individuals and that their happiness can be found in the other person. And that's going to create, fire at points, intense pain at points, because the other person cannot complete you and you cannot complete the other person, no matter how much you try. You cannot give them happiness. You cannot give them safety or stability. You can be a better ego at doing that and a worse ego at doing that, but you can't ultimately give them that. And they can't for you either. While there's belief that they can, then there's always going to be a certain amount of heartbreak in the relationship and disappointment in the relationship. But if your heart is set on freedom, then every part of that will show the illusions of the ego and create deeper and deeper insight. if your heart is really set on this. If your heart is more set on making the other person happy, then that's what will manifest. And it's a totally impersonal thing as to where your heart goes, because there isn't really a Chris. There is energies arising in every moment, and what you are is the totally impersonal consciousness that's experiencing it all and creating it all.